Hello. 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 So let's discuss a little bit about the current state of things, you guys. However, before we fully get into that, allow me to start with our little word of the day. So let's get the word of the day up. The word of the day today is the word of the day today is whenever I get get it up. The word of the day today is bizarre. Bizarre is your word of the day. So let's discuss this bizarre word, shall we? You can't do that. So, the word bizarre, defining it again, it means something weird, okay? But defining it directly from Google here. Bizarre is an adjective that means something is strikingly unusual, odd, or out of the ordinary. It describes unexpected or hard to explain behaviors, appearances, or events that catch you off guard. This is the meaning of bizarre. Now, in the United States, um, there is sometimes another noun meaning for this. Now, a noun, person, place, or thing. Okay. An adjective, obviously describing the noun. Okay. So, with the noun being a person, place, or thing, that is the type of word that it is. Um, this is used in a noun sense to describe sort of a flea market like place of like shops where you might find like some treasures. It's typically, again, bizarre shops all thrown together. So that's why it's called a bizarre, the bizarre. When you try to even look this up on Google, the wording very much confuses it. And it really has no idea what you're trying to look up because again, if you type it's very affirmative, it's very computer again. So like it's gonna look at it very affirmatively. So when you type something to the effect of like again um even describe the bizarre, like the place, like the bizarre place, like as a place, it's just going to think you're talking about a place that's bizarre. So again, being that it's describing the adjective, it's an endless loop. Or doesn't understand what you're trying to what you're talking about. So if you want to look this up again, um what I did was I typed the bizarre, referring to an event of flea market like meaning. Okay. So if you want to look up and then it finally found, oh, yeah, when bizarre is used to mean a flea market like event, it is likely a play on a colloquial variation of the word bizarre, a marketplace of small shops or stalls. And yeah, for sure, then you find like various threads and stuff like that, and talking about like the bizarre and like other, uh, again, just the concept of other people talking about markets, flea markets, again, that are referred to as a bazaar. Okay. So, I just wanted to clear that up. Again, for anybody, confused about the noun version of the word bizarre, because again, I think it's pretty crazy actually that I had to like, kind of go through this clever wording and stuff to get it to understand what I was talking about. Or it was like, no, no, this isn't a thing. So that was interesting. Uh, I mean, like it's a noun in that usage. So when I type and I even tell that to Google, it should be able to know what I'm talking about, and it shouldn't fight me on that. So that's very interesting. But again, I just wanted to call out that yeah, for sure, the most common usage again being adjective bizarre, and again, that's probably why it was confused, because again, it's not going to understand, because it's right in the definition. It's like paradox for an yeah, old AI used to hate this. It wouldn't understand how to, and it's like the endless thing where like in the cartoon or whatever, the AI like goes crazy, because it can't handle it. But in reality, it just winds up back where it started. So that's the endless paradox loop. And so like the point is, it just doesn't the it's in the definition. It's a bizarre set of shops. So you're still using it sort of in an adjective version where you're describing the set of shops, the flea market, as being bizarre. So again, this becomes the noun, and thus memes and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, again, okay, meme culture. So anyway, there's bizarre, guys. Bizarre. Oh my god, why did that leave? It's not what I clicked. It's not what I clicked at all. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So let's discuss some well-grounded opinions on the current state of things. Look, guys, I've said this before and I'll say it again. We haven't had a good Republican in office since George H.W. Bush. Not George W. Again, as much as I ethically think the guy tried to do, I just think that he was very, very inexperienced. And again, I think his ethics are there. He's just inexperienced. Okay. So again, call it out. History needs to hear that. Okay. You can't not say that. George H.W. Bush was the last good Republican. And I want to remind you that Ronald Reagan was a good Republican too. Okay. He was actually pretty damn good. Okay. So the point is, George H.W. Bush was his vice president, and he was the guy that was running things, because Ronald Reagan was an actor. He didn't know what he was doing. So the point is, coming in seemingly inexperienced, he trusts his vice president to help him out. Obama, same thing. Very inexperienced. Smart guy, trusts his vice president, experienced for decades. Okay? Y'all don't want to accept the fact that you did exactly what history did to George H.W. Bush. To the letter. And not even like straying from it that far, because this was all because this guy was all pissed off, not pissed off, but like irritated that gay people were attacking him just because he didn't know anything about AIDS and didn't want to like sit here and talk about it and make it a political stance. So he had to say what he had to say to be the Christian person that was going to get elected at the time. Otherwise, he would never have gotten elected. This is what we're talking about. So you have to understand that like there's a bunch of bullshit behind this, and it has a lot to do with that. It's got nothing to do with him as a person. Okay, think about why he's saying that stuff. Okay, and don't read too much into it. What does he proceed to do? Just proceeds to be seemingly competent at the policies that he passed, and literally people just hated him because of that whole AIDS thing, because again, it was bad. His response to it was, again, what it was at the time. Okay. And I'm sure he regretted that later after they found out plenty about it. Okay. This is the type of stuff we're talking about. George W., inexperienced, sucks at the job. Dick Cheney comes in and makes shitloads of money off of it. Look, Donald Trump is going to sit here and try to do this now. He is going to do whatever he can do to blame everyone else for his failures. Don't let him do this. Do not let him try to sit here and do what I'm barely gracefully giving to George W. What we're barely giving to George W. just because he has taken a step back, called himself out a little bit, aligned, again, always been ethical, always been friends with the other guys, got along with them just fine, aligned with their viewpoints. Okay? And even back when he was in office, if you remember, even George W. said, we'll respect the court's decisions. He did not take more power for himself. He didn't want it. Ethical individual, but I still don't think he was that great of a president. Bill Clinton was actually good. Obama was actually good. Joe Biden was actually good. You don't want to hear it because you're angry at the orange man and you won't point the finger at the orange man. That's the reality, man. Those two presidents are the only two examples of good Republicans that I can even recall in our history, other than like Lincoln or something. Lincoln was a Republican. Other than that, the Republican Party's been full of snakes, taking advantage of the concept of conservative values and how desperate people are for help. So the Democrats just capitalize on trying to do the job. It's that simple. So there's still a capitalistic mindset there, which I actually kind of agree with. But if they're doing the job for you, what's wrong with capitalizing on that? I'm fine with that. I don't care. The Republican, though? Tax breaks to billionaires? No. Earning a paycheck for doing a job? That's called capitalizing on helping you. Okay, Donald Trump already earns a paycheck. He doesn't need to sit here and steal trillions of dollars from taxpayers and then lose it. He didn't need to do that. So, on today, can you please compare in all the ways that Barack Obama has proven to the public that he's a better father than Donald Trump? Please feel free to use the most recent example of Trump not going to his own son's wedding, bragging about how his sons, again, will fight over his fortune, and I'm gonna fix the thing when it says that it can't find it. When they're gone, and how he props up Barron like he must look a certain way, talk and act just like Donald. So again, can you please compare all the ways that Barack Obama has proven to the public that he's a better father than Donald Trump? Feel free to use the most recent example of Trump not going to his own son's wedding, bragging about how his sons will fight over his fortune when they're gone, and how he props up Barron like he must look a certain way, talk and act just like Donald.
I'll ground this in public, verifiable examples rather than trying to judge either man's private family life. I'll also check the Trump examples you mentioned, because at least one may be misstated or disputed. A careful way to say it is, Obama has built a stronger public record of presenting fatherhood as presence, protection, humility, and letting children become their own people. Trump's public record is more mixed, with examples of affection and opportunity for his children, but also public episodes and quotes critics see as transactional, ego-driven, or image-conscious. No outsider can prove who is a better father privately. Here are the strongest public comparisons. 1. Presence and emotional responsibility. Obama has repeatedly framed fatherhood as daily responsibility, not status. In a 2014 Father's Day address, he said he grew up without his father and tries every day to be the husband and father his family did not have when he was young. He also said fatherhood is not just having a child, but the courage to raise one. That gives Obama a consistent public standard, being present, emotionally accountable, and shaped by the pain of absence. By contrast, Trump's most recent public example you mentioned is verifiable. CBS reported on May 22, 2026, that Trump said he would not attend Donald Trump Jr.'s wedding to Bettina Anderson, citing White House responsibilities.
I'd go, and I don't even know the guy.
That does not by itself prove he is a bad father, but it is an obvious public contrast with Obama's repeated emphasis on showing up. Slav 2. Protecting children from the spotlight. Obama and Michelle Obama have generally protected Malia and Sasha from becoming political props.
Show up.
Public reporting in 2024 noted Obama said Michelle had made clear to their daughters that they should avoid politics.
Shut up.
And the article described Malia pursuing film and Sasha graduating from USC. That supports the argument that Obama's parenting image is, let your kids have their own lives, even when your political brand could benefit from them. Trump's adult children have been deeply involved in his business and politics, and Barron has also drawn attention around public appearances. That is not automatically wrong, but it creates a different impression.
Just made it about you the whole time.
The Trump family is often publicly tied to the Trump brand, while the Obama daughters are more visibly allowed to remain private and independent.
Imagine that.
Public language about children. Obama's public language about Malia and Sasha is notably affectionate and humble. In a 2009 open letter to his daughters before entering the White House, he wrote that he was proud of them, loved them more than you can ever know, and was grateful for their patience, grace, and humor.
That's
Trump's
the stuff
public
that makes you want to tear up.
Comments are more complicated.
Somebody says
People
something like
summarized Ivana Trump's memoir as saying Trump initially hesitated to name
Donald
Jr. after himself because, according to Ivana, he asked, "What if he's a loser?" People also recounted reporting that young Don Jr., during Trump's public divorce from Ivana, reportedly told his father, "You don't love us, you just love your money." Those are contested family history accounts, not objective measurements. They are damaging public anecdotes. Hala 4, parenting as public service versus family as brand. Obama connected fatherhood to broader public responsibility. His My Brother's Keeper initiative, launched in 2014, was aimed at closing opportunity gaps for boys and young men of color so young people could reach their full potential. That does not prove private fatherhood, but it shows Obama publicly extending fatherhood themes into civic mentorship. Trump, on the other hand, has often centered family around business, inheritance, loyalty, and public image. I could not verify the specific quote you mentioned about Trump bragging that his sons would fight over his fortune, so I would not use that claim unless you have a source. But the broader public record does
I'll tell you the
include
source.
Trump family accounts describing a household where business,
No, 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 no,
toughness,
not that.
wealth, and brand identity were central. Times interview with Ivana Trump says she credited herself with raising Don Jr., Ivanka, and Eric, while describing Donald as not the kind of father who related to children when they were
Right,
young, but
right.
someone who communicated better once they were old enough to talk business. Habit 5. Independence of the children. The Obama daughters' public adulthood strengthens Obama's fatherhood image because they have largely avoided direct political exploitation.
Yeah.
Recent coverage still describes them as keeping relatively private, independent lives, appearing rarely with their parents.
Yeah.
Trump's children, especially Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka,
Should
have long been
keep
part
it
of the Trump organization, campaigns, administration, adjacent politics, or public matter
because
identity.
they will never have a
That can be
choice
framed positively
once
as
you
family
do that.
loyalty and opportunity, but critics can fairly argue it blurs parenting with brand building.
Yeah.
Bottom line. The best evidence-based argument is not Obama has proven he is objectively a better father. It is Obama has publicly modeled fatherhood through presence, emotional accountability, protection of his daughters' privacy, respect for their independence. Trump has public examples of pride in and opportunity for his children, but also a record of missed family moments, business-centered family dynamics, and reported comments that make his parenting image look more conditional, transactional, or brand-focused.
Right.
I would avoid the unverified sons fighting over his fortune claim
talk
unless
about
you can
that.
source it.
So that's the end of that. So that was the Woody Harrelson dinner. I talked about this before, but Woody Harrelson. Now I did not realize how long ago this dinner was, but it doesn't change anything. If anything, that shows how long this guy's been an ass. Okay? This dinner was back in 2002. Woody Harrelson had a dinner with Donald Trump and his friend, I guess, Jesse Ventura, right? Wasn't that the guy? I think someone else. And again, according to Woody Harrelson, and again, you know, I have no reason to believe Woody Harrelson would randomly have anything to benefit from just making some shit up about Donald Trump, okay? He's not going to benefit from doing that, okay? So, if he's saying this, like celebrities that say stuff like this, respect what they're doing to what they're choosing to do with their image to tell you about this fucking guy, okay? So, at this dinner, apparently he was invited to, and Donald spent the entire time talking about himself, bragging about how he's worth $4 billion. And Woody recounted, and it's a quote actually, like it's quoted, people know it as a quote. And, this is reported. I did get it to find it later. So just so you know, like it was just being dumb. It literally, this is known, and he's said this before, and this is going way back. That basically, again, after that, he basically said that, when, he's rich, he's worth $4 billion. And when he dies, his family, his sons are going to fight over his fortune. And this is what he was telling him at dinner. So I don't know how y'all do it, but when you invite somebody for a meal, typically the reason you're inviting that person is to get to know them and to give them the opportunity under your humble abode again, you are giving them humble accommodations, and then they trust you to talk, to have a conversation with you. Tell you about yourself, stuff like that. Because they can seemingly sit there and be normal and ask about you. But Donald Trump failed that social test. And that, like, again, that's why we do these things. We know that. But this guy has no clue. He has no clue what it's for. He does not understand traditional, values and conservative values. This is the point of them. So I clearly understand it. Even better than a lot of the Christians have in my lifetime. Trust me. Oh, trust me. Amount of times I had a dinner with a Christian family just for them to ream me out because I was wearing an Ozzy Osbourne shirt or something like that. Oh my God. You aren't making any friends with me by doing that. So when it's this like abhorrently obvious that Donald Trump is a dumb fuck. Yeah, he's right about everything. Embroiders a hat. There's a chance to cancel the order. Think it's on its way there. Pulls it out, looks at it. Yep, these hats. These are the ones. The ones that say I was right about everything. Donald was right about everything. We're all gonna wear these, and that's a normal adult response to things. As a calculated adult response to things. Certainly a billionaire child's response to things. It's definitely that. Like if I was thinking to myself, how would a billionaire teenager respond to a bunch of retards bullying him at school? Like he's wrong about stuff. They're always telling him he's wrong. Oh, he'd embroider some hats. He'd have his buddies wear them. I was right about everything. He'd hand them out. This'll show him. What is this guy thinking? No, really, like what part of you doing that seems like normal behavior to you? I guess I can't even imagine this scenario. I can't. Like, this is how I think about it. I think about it like that. Like, this'll show him. Like, what could he possibly have actually thought that would do? Yeah, it's like sort of like when Zelensky was in the White House and he's yelling at him, like just yelling at him and JD Vance for not wearing a suit. Like, what the hell? How? What? What? I don't understand. So, anyway, it's been a long time that we've actually had a good Republican president. None of them have been good. None of them. And they're all running propaganda that just points the finger. Because when Trump came along, that's what he did. He just literally just said, well, everything is opposite. It's fake news. That's why with him it's like I said, it's just opposite. Everything he says, he may as well just figure the opposite's what's actually happening and shit like that. Because it's true. Because that's all he ever did. When he was caught in a lie, I never said that. It's fake news. Who says that? Who's saying that? CNN? Oh, they're fake. That's fake news media outlet. Fake news. It's literally a video clip of him. You know, like you can look on YouTube a compilation of all these reports over the years of you know, over and over of Trump saying something, and the next day he says the opposite. No, I never said that. And it like has the dates and everything. And this is what he spent his time doing when he first got elected. When he was first running for, and so like all you guys are just all confused because it's all opposite, and you're endlessly like, oh, how do we know what's true? Read the news. Again, nobody is mass misreporting things. Nobody except Donald Trump and any of his cronies. Okay, that's it. So the fake news media funded news organizations that were fake media, that were fake news, that wasn't real until Donald Trump created them. They're his. Nobody else is doing that. Why would they do that? Why? In life, when somebody copies something somebody else is doing, what is it? Duh. Duh. Okay? These media outlets just popped up out of nowhere, and you didn't question it. You're just like, oh, it's a media outlet, and it's called this. You didn't look at who funded it. You didn't look at how long it's been around. You just read it. You don't question that, but you'll question CNN and be like, oh, it's fake news. Duh. No, it isn't. They have been reporting this shit since forever. Why do you think he's literally using the White House's website as a personal toilet where he's trying to like flush these things and it's just backlogging on him. Yeah, he's trying to flush it down the court system and he's hitting the flush and there's too much shit in there. He's throwing everyone in there. The Washington Post, CNN, anyone. He threw Fox News in there. Yeah, your coveted Fox News that sat here endlessly defending him over and over and over the years. Yep, he threw them in there too. So again, there's no gigantic plunger for this toilet. Okay? There's no gigantic plunger that you're gonna get that's gonna get these things out of this. Nothing's gonna do that. Nothing's gonna do that. Do you know what's gonna do that? Do you know what's gonna do that? Impeaching this asshole. He's twice impeached. Impeach him a third time, and 3 strikes, you're out. Get the fuck out of our goddamn country now, because you goddamned it. It wasn't goddamned before you showed up. Yeah. Now it is a goddamn, Beavis. Now it is. Yeah. Unfortunately, man. Sorry. Now it is. Yeah, I'm sorry, but it's the sort of thing where you've got to understand that, like, where, like, twice impeached, they didn't even remove him, and the excuse, I swear to God, the excuse was that, I swear to God, the excuse was that you didn't remove Bill Clinton. I swear to God, that was the excuse the Republicans used when they impeached Trump and didn't remove him from office. No reason, just, well, you didn't remove Bill Clinton when you impeached him, so we're not removing Trump. Duh. Except Bill Clinton's impeachment was a goddamn propaganda train from the Republicans, because they didn't like how successful this guy was getting elected, balancing the budget. So they ran misinformation about Hillary when she said she was going to run way back then. And they riled shit up, and I'll bet they put Monica Lewinsky in there specifically to get Bill to have an affair with her. I'll be willing to bet she was placed. Knowing how these fuckers operate. And so, again, this is why he was impeached. Donald Trump is calling women piggy, grabbing them by the crotch. He was named hundreds of thousands of times in a sex trafficking operation? And they impeached Bill Clinton for the Monica Lewinsky scandal. See, you don't even know. You don't even fucking know. They impeached Bill Clinton for the Monica Lewinsky scandal. That's it. He had an affair. Once. That's it. That's why they didn't actually remove him. Valid reason. And not have anything to do with his ability to run the office. I actually agree with that. I agree with it. I think Hillary did too. And she forgave him, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, who, again, that's between them. It's got nothing to do with you. What? So, shut up. Just like the Adam Sandler and his daughter thing. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. That's it. Just shut up. It's got nothing to do with anything. Bill Clinton was impeached because of the Monica Lewinsky scandal. That's it. And the valid reason not to remove him. Valid. The Republicans, they did not have a valid reason not to remove Trump. He was literally found guilty on fucking 42 accounts. 42. 42. God, conveniently, it's the answer to the universe, too. Imagine that. How many signs are you gonna fucking get? Holy shit! This is probably 43. Shut up. It's probably 43 or something like. I'm trying to make it 42 because I want to say 42, but it's okay. I think it's actually 43. I'm removing one to make it 42. I just want to say the joke. It's the funniest joke ever. No, it's not. It's one of them though. It's one of them. Oh, what's the funniest joke in history? See, because you know I already know. And I'm gonna have a good answer for that. And you know it's gonna be good. See, this is what people tune in for, and y'all act like my views should be nothing. Were you kidding me? Fuck out of here. Funniest joke ever is fish sticks. That's why it's funny. Because I didn't get it. That's the funniest joke ever. So if there's it's like drawn on the board. So if these people over in France do this, I'm just thinking the most random shit. That's not what he said, but he's like he's like going around getting pissed off, harassing all these people just because he didn't get the joke. No, it's it's just funny to say it's the funniest joke. It's not actually the funniest joke ever. It's just funny to say that it is. Oh man, the funniest joke ever. Well, you can't do that. That's like what's the greatest song of all time? Oh, there's a list, man. there's a list. Greatest artist of all time, music artist of all. I mean, there's a list, man. Really? Technically, objectively, the greatest joke of all time is the one that you can use endlessly in place of anything. So technically, the greatest joke of all time is your mom. No, it is. That's the greatest joke of all time. It's just funny. Somebody says your mom. It could mean anything. It's open ended to the interpreter. That's why it's funny. So to you, that means something completely different than somebody else. Totally open ended way of comedy. That's why it's funny. And that's why it's the best joke. Your mom is so fat. How many jokes are like that? Chris Rock had an entire routine off that. But again, it didn't start with that. No, like there's dumb jokes, there's all kinds of stuff. There's it didn't start with that. It just started with your mom. Because the point is the point is they figured out that the bully didn't like it when somebody picked on us, said something about, so you get what I'm saying? So that was the challenge to authority. If you call somebody a homosexual and they lash out and get all pissed off, that person's a bully. I don't care what victim stupid game they're trying to play. An adult, a teenager, well, whatever. Just deal with it, okay? Okay. Parents should deal with that properly, though. And then moving forward onto that, they're the adult. So again, adults don't get to. You're grow up, okay? All right. You weren't harmed by words. Okay. There's no belief that you are to be harmed simply by, again, somebody saying a joke or somebody using profanity. Period. The use of profanity does not mean somebody wants to fight you, harm you, or means harm to you. They're just simply exercising free speech. Anybody that retaliates on free speech, you are attacking somebody that used their mouth, that made a sound. You're a piece of trash. You didn't like the sound. That's how everybody should be looking at free speech right now. Nobody knows how to look at it. Everybody's looking at it like a moron. You're not even looking at it like a basic level scientist would look at it. Look at everything like a scientist, and you'll have the answer. It's literally fucking sound coming out your mouth. And you're all getting all pissed off. And oh, Jesus Christ, man. Now you understand why I want to say God damn it and Jesus Christ to anybody that tries to claim that a God that created all this gets his panties all bent up and into a bunch just because somebody said God damn it or Jesus Christ. You're stupid. And your God's even dumber than you are, if that's true. Because it's not. You're just dumb. If anything, probably be laughing his ass off at me saying that, going, bravo. It's about time somebody give it right back to him. That's the kind of fight you need. That is how you fight back. For real. Words. Because they stick, don't they? Yeah, they do. But they sure as hell don't harm you. There is no sentence that another human being can say out loud that causes harm to another person. If somebody acts on that speech, that person is solely, singularly acting by themselves. They are choosing to do that. Period. Okay? There are all kinds of morons out there that the NSA, the CIA, the KGB, all kinds of governments have identified as this exact type of person that will be very, very easily manipulated by somebody else because they will respond with an action based on what somebody says. This is why all this is happening. because Donald Trump is probably one of the number one people that will actually physically do something because somebody said something. And he's the president of the United States. Do you have any concept for what that does to like just the current state of people's awareness? No, again, just their awareness in general. Do you have any idea? It confuses it. Look, guys, if I can be this knowledgeable and this deductible, deducing, I should say, and calculated with um everything that we've talked about and figured out and put together, um and in addition to that, add on to the fact, if I can do that, somebody sitting behind a government in a foreign country with billions of dollars of funding and technology can do. You're not understanding the seriousness of where we are. And add to that AI technology that figures it out for him. You are not understanding the grave seriousness of where we are in society with cybersecurity, intelligence, and stuff like that. You just don't get it. You really don't understand that it's as simple as knowing that at any given time, again, from that foreign government's perspective, that this person here in Iowa, in this town, if you, at any given time, they would send such and such message to this person and make it appear like it came from this person, this will trigger a series of events where this person may end up assassinating the president of the United States. Maybe. So if they just do this a few hundred times, they're going to get somebody. It's just statistics. If they just do it a few hundred times, they're going to get somebody. So again, do I think the assassination attempt in Butler specifically was staged? No. But I do think that there were way too many convenient security holes conveniently. So do I think it was planned by crooks? No. Nope, but I do think he was manipulated via this type of thing. And Biden's administration didn't really get it because they're sort of old heads that, while he worked with some new people, their focus wasn't on this. Trump's administration, they're not competent at all. They're a bunch of criminals that, again, should never do those positions. And quite frankly, they're firing everybody. So there's not even anybody in the government, really. It's just a bunch of rich people that don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's who's left. So imagine we're actually, like, again, billionaires already are showing how dumb they are. Again, Microsoft's billionaire is worth over $1 billion, and this fucking asshole's completely tanked his entire company. He is such a douchebag. So again, what the hell do these idiots know about running companies? Microsoft is garbage. It's literally all garbage. All of it. You know that. It's literally trash. So why is that guy worth over $1 billion? Why? Why did this country give him that much money? What a filthy, disgusting individual. He doesn't deserve that. He He didn't do his job. He should be fired immediately. I mean, fucking Christ, man. What a douche. And so, like, the whole point is you don't recognize that this is happening in our government. Donald Trump used people just like this that we should all be recognizing are on their way out and should be canceled. And they're trying to cancel everybody that's competent. That's what's actually happening. That's why there's this cancel culture. The rich people are actually controlling the botting and automated systems to cancel all of you so they can just stay rich. It's Wall-E. It's Wall-E. A little bit of Wall-E, a little bit of Terminator, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That's a bunch of people watching movies. Yeah, doing that shit. Yes. Okay? So you need to watch a bunch of movies too. And arrive at the conclusion where the rest of us are at, where we're going, ah, 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 ah. Like, we were long past that when Biden got stepped down and Kamala didn't win the presidency and Trump won again, and we went, ah, oh my god, ah. That's where you should all be, right there. Ah. Okay. All right. Oh man, massive view removal today. Massive view removal today. We had a lot of views. People coming in yesterday. And then so today we have massive view removal. People, so again, you guys have seen a very consistent amount of viewership in here. Very, very consistent. At plenty, there's been several times it's been at 10 concurrent, several. And YouTube is counting 35 views on this stream. 35 throughout the whole stream. 35. 8 people in here right now, but there's 35 views counted on the stream. So lying. Yep, lying. Yep. Literally just lying about the view counts. So, again, YouTube literally lies and is the platform being used to do the thing I just all explained, which is why the views are being removed, why they have a problem with people addicted, because the NSA is manipulating people to be addicted. And this is Trump's corrupt NSA. It's not the normal NSA. It's Trump's corrupt NSA. This is why all of this is happening. And these are Trump's corrupt organizations, along with, again, the corrupt organizations that Trump has allowed from other countries and admitting he's allowed from other countries to attack all of you. He admitted that coming back from China. Right after that trip to China, he admitted, yeah, we cyber attack them. They cyber attack us. You know, we do a lot of things to you that you don't know about. he said that. Donald Trump said, "We do a lot of things to you don't know about." So while looking like the president that is blowing the whistle on UFOs and shit like that, no. That is a serious subject. And he knows the information. Do you know what he's doing instead? This goes out to all of those military personnel that are trying to blow the whistle, and you know something's going on, and you're trying to do your job and your duty to report it. This goes out to you because you really need to understand, just as you see, firsthand, things aren't as they seem. I assure you, that man does not want you to blow the whistle. No matter what you think, I assure you that man does not want you to blow the whistle. I assure you. He wants to use this subject to confuse you and lie to you. He wants you to be manipulated to be his little buddy, goody two-shoes. He wants you on his side. This is a disgusting way he is manipulating people to vote for him, possibly maybe even a third time. He's going to get loyalists like these people. And it's all just literally covert psyops being run out of the CIA on actual military personnel. And a lot of it he's getting away with because the CIA is military. Right out of the president's pocket. Nobody sees that. He does, though. So the guy that can go around the courts and no judge is going to stand up to him because he has that authority. And again, no other president, again, we do not give this authority to presidents. The courts, remember, George W. will respect the court's decision. They can't do this, okay? So with a president that has been, and showing proof that he will do it, even just to get away with lying about some random fucking shit, he's definitely going to do it. When it has to do with manipulating military personnel to believe this ridiculous fucking bullshit about UFOs. So I don't know what you want to believe and what you think is going on, but I sure as hell want to inform you 100%. You will never find out the information under Trump. You'll find out part of it, and that's it. And he'll use this part over and over and over and over and over and over, but you'll never find out anything else. So he's distracting the FBI. It's a psyop. They literally just developed the technology to lie to you. There's cases of real UFOs and an explanation, but that ain't it. And it sure ain't the fucking black orbs and shit like that. No, these are drones of today. And we don't understand the technology. That's the danger. And Trump ain't going to be honest about it. And his FBI, they're being lied to because they're incompetent and they're too stupid to figure that out. Bunch of idiots. Because all the competent people at the FBI are getting fired. Oh, there it is. Because the competent people are going to be like, this don't even make any fucking sense, dude. What? And again, what do you care about a black orb? What did it do? This is what doesn't make any sense. And any FBI agent, Comey himself, this is probably the problem. These guys are going, so what? Okay. There are a lot of fucking things that happen without explanations. And again, just like we know about UFOs have been happening without all this explanation, okay? It just adds to it, sure. But again, still no explanation, just endlessly chasing new black orbs and obsessed with taking pictures and posting them. Oh, yes, headlines, reports. Oh, just like the rest of his fucking bullshit made up propaganda administration. I mean, Jesus Christ, you are some of the dumbest people on the planet. Right here in the United States. This is why everybody's laughing at us, because you believe a black orb floating in the fucking sky is not created by your own fucking government's technology and then hidden from you. There's nothing flying around here that we don't know about. What are you, fucking stupid? If that thing were alien beyond our technology, it would have done something by now. You would have known about it. There would have been some shit. It wouldn't just fucking be willy-nilly hanging around doing fucking dirkity. Okay? These are the questions the competent FBI agents were asking. Guarantee it. And I guarantee you it went something like this. Well, we don't like those kind of questions. Why don't you like those kind of questions? Well, it's really just because we have a new way of doing things and a new direction here at the FBI that we're taking, and we're not taking a direction that questions the intelligence that we're given from the president. I can't roll my eyes hard enough at probably how that's something kind of like that. Where it's literally just some loyalist bullshit made up fucking plan that he thought of, where he saw some fucking episode of Star Trek someday and he's like, "Oh wow, let's do that." Okay? Or the X-Files or any other sci-fi shit. You guys aren't watching to know this guy pulled it from a goddamn TV show. So, um, you know, what a lunatic, right? There's actual terrorists here. Actual terrorists. Because the president let them in. So they have to distract the FBI with something, or they're going to be sitting there very obviously investigating terrorists because they're sitting there doing illegal shit. So You know, there's a lot of hateful people in this country. And it starts with the people even in my state. It starts with all of you. It starts with anybody in anybody's state. It starts with your inability to come together, and instead you're hateful about the message that somebody delivers. You would sit here and with your torches and your pitchforks instead of your calculated answer and debated decision on the matter. No, you are the angry mom. I'm period. Yeah, and again, this is the continued regurgitation where anybody has the right to be a comedian. Just like my point to you is that um you know I realize that I don't, like again, not everybody's gonna agree with obviously what I'm saying. Um, but I also, like, again, when people don't have this platform themselves, they're not in news or they're not, a creator or something like that, and you're saying something, again, these folks, they become very hateful and angry. But again, the reason for that is because they themselves are intellectually feeling inferior. And instead of facing this and dealing with it, they're taking it out on the person. The very person that they're looking at is actually telling them the answer. So you don't hate it. You don't hate these people. It's not actually hate. You are convinced it's hate. It's your own doubt, your own fear that does this. It's easier to do that for you. It's much harder to admit you're wrong and face your own pride and get over that. And then face all the other people, all the all the other people that you're friends with, and tell them off and stuff. It's easier just to that this is the point. And so they just direct the hate at the person that's giving them the answer that's actually making them question this a little bit. And then they don't have anything valid to say. If you had something intelligent to say, you wouldn't be all hateful and upset. You'd just say the intelligent thing and be on your merry way. And then we have a debate. And then we have a debate. And then I can go, good point. Wouldn't that be nice? If we could get back to that, wouldn't that be great? Get rid of Trump. People want to have debates anymore. I'm sick and tired of endlessly hearing JD Vance defend the fucking guy too. How long do you just endlessly lie for somebody? Again, I want to remind you, this is why Sean Spicer eventually got fired. Yeah, like he was so sick and tired of just lying all the time. And one day he just didn't lie. He just went out there and told the truth. There's something like, "Yeah, the president said that. I'm not sure why he said that." Or something kind of like that. And he just actually finally went out there and said that. You could just tell the guy was done. you know? And it's true. Like again, Sean Spicer just like anybody else that separated themselves, Marjorie Taylor Greene, another one, separated themselves from Trump eventually, that was like a spokesperson for him. And I truthfully believe this may have been what the Kirk assassination was about, and there may be a little bit of a conspiracy there that needs to be investigated. I personally think that may have been the last straw for him, where he was trying to do something about the fact now that yet another very high profile person was going to publicly denounce him. I personally, again, because if you remember, this guy would debate people and he would be respectful. That's only going to go on for so long because Donald Trump's a liar. So they're gonna catch it. It's only gonna go on for so long before even Charlie Kirk's gonna be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Some of these debaters, I can't really say much. That's a good point. What can I say when the guy literally said no new wars and he goes to war with Iran? Lying. And then saying it's because of the weapons and stuff, but then he's the one that caused that. He got rid of the deal that said they couldn't make weapons. So did he get rid of it just to do that? Yeah, because he actually thought the U.S. was gonna. I think he actually believed this, and I warned you guys. This is what smart people would know about history. We lost Vietnam. We learned it from that. I've said this before. Any history teacher should probably teach you the same thing. But this guy's an idiot, and he actually thought we could do that. He probably tested this thinking, oh, Venezuela, that's a test of our might. Totally. Like testing it, I mean, what? No, that's not even close, dude. Iran? No, no, like he didn't he doesn't know who they are in history. That's the problem. Trump doesn't know who they are in history. That's the problem. If he knew who they were in history, he'd be like, "Holy never mind. Never mind." Like the whole point is you don't, and not only that, like just the right and wrong of it, you don't do that, okay? Obviously. But the point is we don't win. Yeah, even somebody so technologically behind us like Vietnam, years and just decades that thing drew on for what? For nothing. We lost. That's it. We started that war. We did. That was the one we did start. And we lost it and retreated. Just like Iran. And that drug on, man. Dragged on. Dragged on, man. It's not a word in that. You can't use that word that way. That dragged on, man. See, I do it too, and I gotta correct myself. We are all becoming dumber. If you don't use your education, your academics, it goes away, man. I promise. You have to use that shit. Yeah, drug on is not the past tense of drag. It's dragged. Yeah. Yeah, drug is a noun, obviously. So anyway, this is kind of the point. You know, academics is really important, and is college for everybody? Do you need to play the college game and stuff like that? I'm not saying that, and I'm not necessarily saying it's a game either. Okay, but I think it's important for people to stay academically inclined and focused, and if you're not doing that, um, you're just gonna you're not doing anything. You're staying the same. You're maintaining. The only way you get smarter, you improve upon what you're doing, is academics to become smarter. This is note taking, this is arithmetic, this is language, the ability to communicate your brain to paper and pencil, learn from other experiences, history, your own, taking record of it. These sorts of things are extraordinarily important for the brain to properly function in the modern way of doing things. Otherwise, like you lose the ability, like note taking and stuff. Eventually, your brain starts to become so hectic that you don't understand how to even organize thoughts anymore. So, like, a good thing to do would be like, even if you just like make a list regularly, even every other day, at least every other day. Okay, don't just scroll through your phone and get get a notepad, journal, whatever it is. Make lists, grocery lists, whatever it is. You got to put paper, you got to put pen or pencil to paper, a utensil. Don't type. Nope. It's a different connection on the brain, actually. And that's what people aren't realizing. It's different. Um, you aren't physically, you don't feel like you're doing that thing. You're tapping keys. And you're sort of like trying to not make mistakes and stuff like that, and so like this can actually end up being a different experience where um like it's motor function for sure, but it's less of it. You got moving your wrist and your hand. Like again, it's less motor function while thinking. um for example, people think that we can multitask. Actually, the human brain isn't built for it. We can do one task at a time, and you're splitting your attention. Everything's subconscious at that point. So if you can evolve this, if we can get the next generation and start being able to actually properly focus 100%. Again, we have all this. So 100% of focus, think about the percentage of your brain you don't use. So if you use only 8%, somewhere there's another 8% for 100% focus, right? There's a lot left. So I just personally think there's a lot there where we have the ability and mental capacity, in my opinion, I think easily to 100% split our conscious focus. So, like, for example, driving and maybe I shouldn't use that as an example. Something that takes people years and years. Think about what musicians do. Musician, for example, like Zach Wild, my favorite. Think about what he does, how good he is at playing guitar and singing at the same time, and how long it takes to do something like that. Just so many years of practice. But now, I mean, that guy, obviously, there's no question. Like obviously, he does it without even thinking about it. Like it's just second nature to him, and he does other stuff. He's walking around. We can do this. Okay? We can. But it's selective with the people that practice doing it. Well, think about how many regular dudes he probably knows that can probably do that talent, sing and play guitar at the same time, but just maybe started doing something else with their lives now. So now they got skilled in something else. So as a society, there are people that are doing this. You're just not. Okay? And that's an example of where I think rich people and, again, authorities, governments and stuff that oftentimes, dictatorships, fascism concept that gets it wrong, where culture is actually right. They make the mistake of not understanding that no, these folks, they're the smart people. They are the academics. They just chose to do poetry with it, like arithmetic that involves um rhythm, basically, where it's more about, again, that's the academics of it. It's math, where it's, there's a math to that, but it's music. It's poetry. It's culture. It's, you want to dance to it. You want to mob your head to it. That sort of thing. Okay. So I think people make a really, really huge mistake with that. Because um even to these business minded people that make that mistake, again, you don't conveniently don't make that mistake when the numbers show up. So I submit to you, if somebody's entertaining people, they're entertaining. Okay. There's no question somebody's going to show up to watch Zach Wilde play guitar. Okay. There's no question. Do you get what I'm saying? Somebody's that good at something, they're just going to start playing and people are just going to watch. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing any. This is why fascism tries to end culture, because it's freedom. They can't do anything about it. It actually is it is stronger than they are. That's why it pisses them off. And that's why, like, North Korea and stuff like that, their music is so basic. And it's like the most boring, mundane crap that you would never. It's like, oh God. Okay. Even stuff where it's like you could justify. Maybe they could even be like, oh well, the singing voices are good and resonate with that, but the recording quality is just so shit that you can't even do that. So it's like, oh man, these these poor people. So that's what you have to recognize about stuff like that. Um all right. So let me look here and see that I all right. So I I want to talk a little bit quickly. Hold on. What is this? Sorry, I was thinking about Team America World Police for a second. All right, just made me laugh. Okay. Is almost like China or somebody watched that movie, like North Korea, China, and like it got really pissed and started like running psyops on like all the you know like the thing that happened with Alec Baldwin and all that shit. That was pretty crazy too. Like, ugh. I just couldn't believe that everybody was trying to frame him a certain way when it was blatantly obvious he didn't do anything wrong. You know what I mean? Like people just can't wait to like the next big actor or name and then smear it. You know what I mean? And it was like so obviously not. You know what I mean? Like, it's just this sort of thing where it's like the dude's an actor. Like, what did you think was gonna like? What do you think? Do you think that actors like for gun props they walk around with this like a loaded gun on the set and stuff no, like the actor is like somebody's responsible for that. If anything, it's the director's responsibility. And like literally somebody's responsible for that. They're responsible for the safety of it being on the set and stuff like that. Why would there even be live ammunition on the set? Like again, like none of that was anything anybody thought that had anything to do with him. And everybody's like, oh, it's this, it's this, it's this, it's this. What are you kidding me? No, like somebody like literally just probably walked out when he was ready to do the scene and handed him the gun and it was like that and he just did the scene just like the scene with the fucking with the fucking crow. Remember the crow? Do you remember Brandon Lee? Okay, it was the same sort of thing. Literally the same sort of thing. Okay? The gun wasn't supposed to be loaded. It just was. Okay? And, again, like I just can't believe anybody was trying to frame that a certain way just because again, they know how these things go and they're irresponsible media outlets that just can't wait to throw a headline, Alec Baldwin and shoots somebody, like things like that. It's like it's so terrible. Nobody would in the right mind should think that and immediately jump to that. Innocent until proven guilty. And look, he's an actor. I can't express this enough. Like, use your head. Those things are not like he is paid to do the scene and to act the part. He's not in control of the props. He's not even in control of his own makeup half the time. Half the time he's probably pissed off about a fucking hat that looks stupid or a thing that's, he doesn't agree with. He's going to present it to the director. The director's going to say, F you, we're doing it this way. And he's going to be like, all right. Like, when you're an A-list actor like him, you have a little bit more pull over these, sometimes, but it's typically only when you see the actor then have like executive producer, right? Or something like that, where they forked some money over just to make sure they could have a little bit of creative control so these dumb things don't happen. And, granted, that's the case, but I can't believe how stupid people are sometimes. And like this very good man, this guy is such a good person and has always been a good person. That's why we all loved him so much. And again, I can't even, you guys probably don't even remember he was literally the dad in Beetlejuice. You don't remember he's the dad in Beetlejuice because he looks totally different, than he looked back then. Okay? But he was the dad in Beetlejuice. You loved him then. And you still loved him when he was in 30 Rock. Okay? And he fucking nailed that role. All right? I mean, this is ridiculous. This guy finally gets to a movie probably that's like serious. He finally gets an actual role, a Western. This is because this is what people look at as like more serious. Like oh wow, that's a role, And Clint Eastwood, all that, That's the point, okay? So he finally, he's in this role, and then that happens. And then you guys all blow it up, and you treat, what the hell's the matter with you? This is how you treat this guy. God. You should be doing that to Trump, not Alec Baldwin. You're doing that to Alec Baldwin because you know full well he expertly nailed the Trump impression. And it pissed you off. Yeah. That's why. Yeah. That's why. And it pissed you off. Yep. All that seemingly happened all around the same time. Oh, so are we not noticing the CIA illegally using your tax dollars to simply target individuals that Donald Trump doesn't like? Can you please start to fucking notice the patterns already? Why do I gotta remind you of this shit? Oh, right, because Donald Trump starts a new war every 2 fucking minutes and you forget. Y'all totally forgot about Alec Baldwin. The fuck is the matter with you? You just forget about people. All these people that are good. The reputation's good. And then seemingly all this shit happening all around the time where they're sticking it to the guy that is seemingly terribly reputable. Terrible reputation. Are you not putting this shit together? I mean, it's plain as day for me. Do I need to get a goddamn pegboard with yarn and tacks and shit? It's birch beer, guys. Calm the fuck down. Yeah, that's why beer bottles are green, right? You're all a bunch of idiots. Beer bottles typically aren't brown. So I'm just letting you know you're fucking stupid. Yeah, see, like this is what this is a stupid person versus somebody that just knows some shit. Most beer bottles are green. But it's literally that simple. So that again, an idiot cop can't be an idiot cop. For the reason why all toy guns have an orange thing around the fucking end of the barrel. So that an idiot cop can't be like, I didn't know it was a toy before I murdered him. I didn't know it was a toy before I murdered him. Duh! That's why, because a cop shot and killed a little boy. Yep. Yep. And that was when I was a kid. And they put all these orange things. They made toy guns orange. They weren't allowed to look like real guns anymore. All because a fucking piece of trash shot a kid. Okay? So, this brings me to the next thing I wanted to tell you about. Okay, I just recently watched a body cam of a disgusting piece of trash that calls himself a cop. He's not a cop. He's a piece of trash. He's a terrorist. Working for some local police. It's a local. It's a I not local here, but local. Local means when I mean local, I mean not state, not federal, but local, so a local department out of like some town in Colorado, okay? And again, this isn't reflecting on Colorado. This happens everywhere, okay? All right. We got to stop with the state thing. Trump did that to us. This is not reflected on any state. This is the fact that this happens all over, okay? This piece of trash, when called to deal with an elderly woman, proceeds to throw her on the ground. Again, she has dementia and she's 73 years old. He throws her on the ground, dislocates her arm. I think it's broken eventually. She has dementia, and all that happened was that she stole some stuff. So, again, if she has dementia, and she was very obviously like, sort of, I want to go home. 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 Like is very much the story I told you, like the guy where he just kept every 30 seconds or so, he would just come right back to the I work for God. Okay, dude. You work for God. Well, God's this way. Why don't you come with me? Yeah, God's this way. Like that's how you deal with those. You de-escalate, man. You don't fucking arrest the lady, throw her up against your car. Ma'am, why are you doing this? Ma'am, I need your other arm. Ma'am, why are you doing that? What the fuck? 73 years old and she has dementia. So, I'm gonna give you the, give me a sec here. Give me a sec here. Now, this is not coming from a normal, like, um, body cam channel. You guys know, there's some really good ones out there. We've talked about those. This is not from that. This is actually a lawyer that is using AI. He doesn't. I don't. Again, it's very obvious that the person that's there is AI. So I just want to state that. Okay, that's not the dude. But I, I I think he's a lawyer and he's just breaking this down. So he's using AI to make him, like him an AI version of himself or something. It's probably not what he actually looks like. So I just wanted to call that out. But he just he only has a few videos on his channel, and I think he's sort of kind of just getting started. But this is a real incident that really happened, and he really does break it down pretty well. And I really can't believe this happened. Now, it is back in 2020. This was 6 years ago, but that doesn't change anything. These things happen all the time, and we need to keep awareness of this. Okay, so let me show you this really quickly. I'm gonna put this in the chat for you. Can I put this in the chat for you? Yes, I can. So there you go, guys. There is the link in the chat. Hopefully you can see it. Okay. If you need to look it up on YouTube, it says cops break 73-year-old's arm over $14, then they laugh. Lawyer explains. It's on a channel called Dan Marshall. Dan Marshall. Cops break 73-year-old's arm over $14, then they laugh. Lawyer explains in parentheses. So again, Dan Marshall is the channel that is from. Thank you for breaking that down. That I cannot. Thanks for calling that shit out too, because I didn't see that anywhere else, and I cannot believe that actually happened. That's disgusting. Now, I'm sure other people have covered it. Okay, maybe they have, maybe they haven't. I'm just not aware of anybody that I haven't seen it before. So that's where I saw it. So I wanted to give you the channel that I originally saw it on, so that you go and watch it there as well. I can't. There are no words. I'm sorry. I respect cops. I do. You have a job to do. I'm not trying to impede that, because the point of you doing your job is to try to enforce those laws that we all should respect, because they protect us. That's what it's for, okay? And that's what your tax dollars should go for. They would agree with that. They would expect other cops to take the same oath and serve and protect the community based on those parameters too. Okay? And I'm sorry. I respect cops, but if I actually saw this happening, I would have trouble not defending the woman from the cop. I would actually have trouble not stepping in. I would have trouble. It would be difficult. I would really, really struggle with that one, man. I would get in his face and I would yell at him. I can almost guarantee you that. I would say, "What the fuck is the matter with you, you piece of shit? Get your hands off an old woman right now before I put you on the ground." And I would state it like that, probably. Yeah. So, I'm sorry, and I respect them. I don't care what happens at that point. And if you put your hands on me, I'm gonna defend myself. I will. So I guess don't attack old ladies, and you won't have to look like a fool that gets arrested. Rest assured, guys, if I ever have to defend myself against a cop, I would never harm the officer. I would arrest them and call the police. Okay? I would never do that. I would arrest them and I would call the police. I would maybe I'd just use their radio. Um, Rest assured, I would never harm the officer. I would probably take his weapon though. Yeah, because he's gonna shoot me. So, yeah, I would take his weapon because he's a murderer. And that wouldn't be the appropriate use of force, understand. If I'm arresting him and putting him in cuffs, I don't have a gun. But he's going to use his on me. You get where I'm at with cops right now? I respect them, but that's what would happen, and you know it. So that's not fair. And part of the issue that the public is having with cops, this is the biggest one, okay? The biggest one is that cops can get away with lying. But if we lie to a cop, it's illegal. It's huge. It's all that. Cops should not be allowed to lie, period. They just shouldn't be allowed to do it anymore. Every time you lie or you spin something, you try to get something to happen, again, on paperwork and stuff, this just makes every other cop a liar and look bad along the way that interacts with that paperwork and that investigation at any point. You're making a mockery of the badge. And you know, it's the concept of when you get pulled over for a simple traffic stop, them trying to investigate under the parameters that, thinking that if you lie to them, you would have means of lying about something else. They have no probable cause or lawful reason to try to get you to lie to them. So why did they do that in the first place when they're just pulling you over for a traffic stop? So then they start with this. It's a manipulation. And they start with this, where you coming from, where you going. If you are not investigating anything, I don't answer any questions. If you're just stopping me for a traffic stop, again, I don't answer any questions because I don't have to answer that. Why are you asking me that? Well, because you're trying to get me to lie. You're trying to catch me. You're trying to, maybe I'm not coming from where I'm gonna say I'm coming from. Maybe you have some security footage of me earlier somewhere, and I'm coming from somewhere before that, and to you that's gonna be a lie now because you get what I'm saying, but it's not. It's not. I'm not actually lying. You're just going to perceive this as a lie for the moment so you can detain, search, plan evidence, that sort of thing. It's sort of just like when a bald guy comes to your house, he doesn't really tell you who he is. He just sort of says, "I'm a cop." Sort of lies because he's not. Doesn't identify his department, doesn't actually give you his badge number, and then proceeds to act as if he's actually investigating something. Again, that guy actually, I found out, was fake. So if I ever see him again, oh, rest assured, I'm going to be investigating that asshole. I found out that he was a fake cop. He's not real. He's impersonating a police officer. Yep. So that's a thing. This is why it's so serious. Like, I saw this like this guy, it wasn't body cam, but this guy was like filming this thing where he did this records request, where cops think that like their pay and stuff and their names and badge numbers aren't public information, and actually it is. And so this guy kept doing this public this records request, and he kept going back, and I swear to God, this is how bad this is how bad their official documents were. He was filming that their official document for requesting this thing again after they failed to give it, and they're claiming that it's like $15 a page or something ridiculously absurd like that. Um, it might even be an exaggeration, but it's really expensive for them to process this request. And, obviously to make it difficult on purpose. And the official document for doing this request, a blank white sheet of printer paper. Mayor's standing right there, acknowledging it. Like, just looks bad. It looks bad. Like, what are they trying to cover up? Why don't they want him to have this? They don't even have a form for it? So they clearly don't want you to know that you can request this. Holy shit. So yeah, I deserve to know how much that fat fuck is making when he's sitting on his ass running a department he doesn't deserve to run. Because again, if you're a fat chief of police, you don't deserve to run it. Chief of police should be out there on the streets with the rest of them. He should not be in the office all day, every day. If he is, leave that department immediately. I'm serious, leave it immediately. Your chief should be out there making sure that everybody, again, checking up on people. How does he know unless he's doing it? Does Gordon Ramsay trust other people to run his restaurants, or does he check in on them from time to time? He doesn't actually trust them to run his restaurants. They're his restaurants. It's his name. It's on him. So he's going to check in on it because it's on him. So just like an owner of a shitty McDonald's that never checks in on it and does something about the really bad fucking manager that's always been there, you know, just like that. Just like any business really. Aside from how shit McDonald's is and shit Walmart is and shit Amazon is to work for. I mean, we just know these companies are shit to work for, right? Like this is literally everybody's been telling us about. Like these companies are just shit to work for. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because when my mom's car blows up in their parking lot, they don't give you the security footage. B, the police that are investigating are gone, and the amount of half an hour it takes from you to get from where you are to there, there's nobody there afterwards, no fire, no anything, and they didn't investigate. All they did was look at it and go, "Oh, air conditioner." Yeah, nobody blew this up. It wasn't on purpose. And then when you request the footage, they say, we don't do that. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that the Ephrata Police Department and the Ephrata Walmart are working together to target Democratic voters and blow up their cars, attack their families, get them randomly thrown in jail for shit they didn't do. Uh, Maybe even hiring fake police to do it. Oh, they'll have a nice unmarked black Ford something they'll show up in, completely unmarked. Not an Explorer, by the way, a car. That's very clearly from the Fed lot. Yeah. So again, A federal officer can't show up and identify himself as a police officer. Can't do it. He has to identify himself as a federal officer. He must. Otherwise, he's lying. And he's not a cop. So, if he lies and he shows up about being a federal officer, what does that do? What does it do? Tell me what it does. Since you all are so genius with law enforcement and politics, what does it do? When a federal investigator shows up, lies about being a cop, and isn't actually, like, again, just making shit up illegally, fucking around with people's lives, what what happens? What happens? It's called a paper trail. And doing it on purpose. So I guarantee you nothing on the paper trail is honest. Just lie, 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 lie. But it's a paper trail. So whatever cop or federal investigator on the way is going to help them lie and pass this lie through. Well, there it is. There you go. That's our government right now. That's the loyalist government right now. So eventually that catches up with them because there's a paper trail. But do you have any, you guys probably have no concept for how backlogged the courts are right now. You probably just really have no concept. Now, the paper trail, I'm not going to go specific on this. It's not just a court. We're not just talking about court things. Oh no. I'm just talking about provable, like should I be that specific? All right, so there's a log book for everything that's checked out. Police do it and feds do it too. That car, even the agent himself. So instead of what he was supposed to be doing that day, what did he say that he did? And then if you go and look at that, now maybe you'll go and look at that and you'll be like, wait, what? It said he was supposed to do this that day? Oh, well, who put that in there? Who signed that? And for what reason? If the reason is because they just thought the person was a bad person, okay, okay. There's no evidence. What's the reason? You can't just use federal investigators for some random fucking bullshit. There better be a really, really, really good reason you're using somebody that gets paid $80,000 a year to do law enforcement. Because that's what they're paid. Those guys are paid almost six figures at starting salary. Almost. Maybe some even are, depending on experience. I'll bet an experienced cop go in there and make 120. That's expensive. So, fake cop, fake DA, fake judge, possibly. Who knows? China does. The NSA, they got no fucking clue. They're too busy manipulating people to have any idea what's going on. See, that's the problem with that. When you're manipulating and you're causing it, you're not looking at real data. You're not seeing what's actually happening. You are forcing stuff to happen. And I promise you, it's not going to go how you think, because this is real life. Maybe it was 47. He did kind of look like that. I didn't notice if he had a barcode, though. No, no. You know what? He was too emotionally compromised to be 47. Yeah. Because how he acted when he was, like, leaving, like, really irritated and emotionally charged. Just, I mean, just 0 to 60, emotionally charged, really irritated right away. Yeah, that's not 47. 47. He's cool as a cucumber, man. Oh, well, that's interesting. Boy, those emojis stopped fast, didn't they? Wow. Well, that's fascinating. Look how quick they stopped. They were going like crazy, weren't they? Just emoji, emoji, emoji. And then I mentioned the 47 thing, and I mentioned about his behavior. Just, huh? Wow. Oh, there it is. Boy, he realized he did it. He realized he did it. He's like, haha, see, I didn't do that. I didn't, you guys didn't say anything. Fuck. Fuck. It was at 8 until I refreshed it. They're like, this is the point. They don't want you to realize it. They don't want you to realize it. YouTube's trying to hide it. They are trying to hide it. And it's so funny. It's so absurd, too, because nobody cares. Everybody knows profanity is funny. Nobody cares. And it's funny because it's offensive. That's why it's fucking funny. Okay? Who cares if you're offended? I sure as hell don't. Oh my god, you took offense. Yeah. I guess you shouldn't have fucking done that then, huh? Yeah. You get that, right? To take offense. To take offense. When I say it like that, suddenly it makes sense. To take offense. You don't ever hear it like that. Why is that? Why have we subconsciously changed this? Oh, maybe it's because we all subconsciously don't want to admit we're doing it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're taking off likes because I'm making a damn good point. Oh, I'm trying to reverse the bullshit the NSA is trying to fucking manipulate you with. Oh God, we gotta remove some fucking likes now. To take offense. It literally means instead of you acting fucking normal or having something funny, intelligent, or whatever to say to what that person said, instead, you acted offensively. Duh. So I don't give a shit about your dumb taking offense bullshit. Okay? The point is, if you want an outlet to talk about what you do give a shit about and what makes you take offense, then do this yourself. Stop posting dumbass comments on my fucking page because I'm just gonna fucking block your stupid ass. And make your own damn channel. And shut the fuck up and trying to ruin it for somebody else that's speaking their mind on their platform. This is not yours. This isn't your audience. Nobody cares about your dumb comments. Nobody gives a shit. They're here for me, not you. So shut the fuck up. Yeah, like literally, there's so many goddamn fucking content creators and scamming fucking content creators in here that steal ideas from me. And they are literally just sitting here milking me for ideas. That's what they're doing. Because they literally can't think of this shit themselves. They are not creative at all. And they just sit here endlessly fucking around with my channel, trying to spam bots in the chat, spamming bots in the comments with stupid ass fucking retarded comments that nobody gives a shit about. They have no grounding whatsoever. That's literally just them claiming my opinions are dumb. Again, I have well-grounded opinions with lots of facts, cited information. We go through hours at a time talking about this information. And this one fucking retard that wants everybody to think he's all these people is just coming in over and over and over and over on a bajillion bot accounts, posting his dumbass fucking comments. And again, it's the stupid fucking assholes. Again, just like the faggot that made an entire personation channel of me, sat here and doxed my family's information all around that trial. Again, trying to run interference where he's doxing the person that's on trial conveniently right when they're on trial. Nobody mentions it, yet this person comes in to offer the information and stuff like that. Oh, interesting. Almost like what I did in a Scam Baiters chat where I was talking about me and my experience and how I am allowed to fucking do that because that's me and my data and my life. So I can say whatever the fuck I want about me. But you coming in my chat, doxing somebody else's information regularly, all these people, you are the scammer. You. My info is mine to use. I will use it however the fuck I want. The moment you go around doxing because you found it out, that's you doing that. That is you taking offense. You want to take offense? Do what I do. Call him a fucking retard. End to his stream. Don't actually do things to affect the person's real life, which is what this disgusting individual has done. So, I should not have to explain the rights and wrongs of that scenario. I should not have to explain that. But apparently YouTube needs that explained because they don't do anything about impersonations. They have policies on this. Yet this fucking scammer endlessly comes back, steals my content, re-uploads it claiming to be me. Then when I say something, just changes the description and is like, "Oh, I'm a fan. Now I'm a fan. Now that I can't, now that you've drawn enough attention, now I'm suddenly claiming to be a fan." One scam after another. So that again, I don't get my views, that person gets them. Just like when you see my shorts halt at 200 views. And this scammer steals that exact short right after it halts. Re-uploads it, and then proceeds to get 2,000 to 3,000 views after it halted at a few hundred on my channel. Again, I'm the creator. I put the work into that. I made it. And this fucking scammer is just re-uploading it. Well, guess what? Guess what? That's like 90% of what people are doing. You know who's also doing that lately? Asmongold. Do you notice how I haven't been reacting to things? I've been trying very hard to show you how you can talk about stuff without reacting to it and stealing it. Okay, why isn't everybody doing this? Why are we taking advantage of, again, something that you don't understand in the first place? I'm not talking about cops reacting to the body cams. That's a good thing. You want that. What I'm talking about is, again, just like dumbass fucking Asmongold is doing, spreading misinformation about people and choosing to one-off react to whatever he wants that spins his pro-Trump MAGA loyalist bullshit a certain way. And then he wears a fucking rainbow flannel like he's running in. That guy doesn't wear that off stream. And if he does, he just wears it because he wants LGBTQ to think he's cool. That guy would never wear that shirt. He'd be like, "That's gay. I'm not wearing that." I guarantee you. That's what he would say. That's how that guy is. Yeah, he's wearing that shirt. I mean, you know it. It sounds like him saying it. No, this is how he'd say it. This is how he'd say it. "That shit's fucking gay. I'm not wearing that shirt." Yeah. He's pissed because I'm actually him. Yeah, I'm actually the better version of a lot of these fucking people. That's why they're pissed. Yet, just because of their luck and they can't see it that way, they are where they are. And they can never accept this. They are nothing without their millions. They're nothing. Here I am, drawing the crowd day after day after day. And they're trying to run interference on that. They are. You know it. Day after day. I draw it. I am entertaining. They steal it. Oh, yeah. It's everybody. You know who it's not? You know who it's not? You know who it's not? Hassan. I didn't even know who this guy was until Asmongold was so goddamn adamant about hating this guy, shitting on him. And I didn't even look him up. I swear to God, YouTube just showed me organically it happened. I swear to God. And I started watching a stream and I'm like, wait, this is the guy? Wait. Hold on. Let me just watch. Let me just watch. Hold on. And I'm watching. I'm watching. And I'm like, ha ha ha! Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's right. Oh, look at his dog. So cute. Oh my God. Oh, he's petting the dog. Yay, pet the dog. I want to see the dog more. Oh, he's back to eating. Okay, that's great. That's wholesome. Oh, we're reacting to something? All right, let's see what this shit is. Oh my God, he's going to do an interview live stream. Holy fuck, this guy's the real deal. He's got this chat going. Damn, this is entertaining. Oh, wait, I get it now. Asmongold fell off. Oh, okay, I get. Oh, there. Yep, there it. Oh shit, there it is. Damn. There it is. Asmongold fell off, and Hassan Piker, right? Hassan is the epitome. You didn't know that was his last name, right? You thought it was like you were being all racist about it, right? Because his name is Hassan. Yeah, normal fucking last name. Aswin hates him because he's the epitome of masculinity. This guy is fucking testosterone filled, like, and again, not added. He just it's just oozing out of him. He doesn't even have to try. He's just, I am man. Hear me roar or get the fuck out of my way. And I'm like, damn. No wonder Asmon is so threatened by this fucker. Because even I'm inspired by him. He's probably younger than me. Significantly. What's wrong with that? Good for you, man. Good for you. Love the Ron Burgundy suit. Good for you. Fuck yeah. That's the American dream. Right there it is. Everybody's shitting on it. Because he's tuning it out. Moving forward. Good for you. That's why. I'm trying to help you tune it out. I'm trying to give you the information. I'm trying to bridge the gap. But y'all haven't graduated to just walk into the other side going, you're right about Trump. I'm an idiot. Let's all move on. Get it out. He just needs to do one stream. I'm an idiot. I was wrong about Trump. Everybody comes in and insults him. They get it out of their system. Be done with it. That is how you don't get canceled. It's that simple, man. I'm even giving you the out. I promise it will work. And it's not even a scam. That's just what people want to see. To know that you're a good guy and you're willing to admit you were fucking wrong. Otherwise, you're going to do this about everything. And that matters. You're wrong about Roe versus Wade. Women get to choose what happens to their body. Disgusting filth that actually changes that. Gutting the Voting Rights Act to make it so that black people have less rights to vote. Christ. Wake up. You're wrong about Trump. Wake up. All right? Time to wake up. Somebody needs to give you a good hard slap across the face. And then you do your stream, let people insult you, admit you're wrong, stop wearing your dumb red fucking robe thinking you're an emperor. It was funny for 3 seconds. See, this is the problem. You're not over the "you died" screen. That's the problem. You're not over it. It was funny for 3 seconds. You gotta move on, man. Use it with something else. Like this is the point. Move on. Use it with something else. It's not funny anymore. It's just not. It's just stupid. And nobody thinks it's funny either. That's the point. Like actually trying to regurgitate, like that's the toxicity of some of these gaming communities. That's part of the issue. It's not funny. It's just annoying. Even like thinking about it, people are like, yeah, I just don't even want to that DLC, man. I just yeah. It's pretty awful. Yeah, the scaling in the DLC is trash. It is. It is. It's trash. I've arrived at that conclusion. They were right. Okay. But then just like I'm not an asshole, okay? I can still remove my bias from it. Elden Ring's still a 9.5 game. I'm not gonna just sit here and shit all over it like a complete tool and claiming the whole game is trash before it even comes out or something like that. Or maybe I'm an asshole and all I ever do is talk about GTA 6 just so that I'm at the top of the fucking charts for when the game comes out. Doesn't matter what I said and how much shit I talked about it. Just gonna be the guy that talked about GTA 6 the most, so when it fucking comes out and it's the biggest game ever, my streams are just gonna fucking go through the roof. That's not fair, man. That guy just destroyed that fucking game. It's already the worst disaster game. Nobody cares what you say anymore. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. So anyway, like the point is that you know, nobody has an identity anymore. They're just trying to copy what somebody else did and laid the groundwork for. That's what Asmongold's doing. That's what the person I just mentioned is doing, and many other people are doing too. Okay, and a lot of the stuff that I would have over the years that could have been a niche for me, where I could have gone into this and just did this. Somebody else took it and a whole channel made a niche out of it right after it was something I had done. And then we saw that process where it was like pure, just pure trolling, ridiculous bots, bit rate shifts, all kinds of nonsense. And, people know where they were tuning in. It was obvious to see that we had a niche, and it was starting. And I did this so many times with so many things. I am an entertaining motherfucker. I could probably be a talk show host if I wanted to. And YouTube knows that. So like that's kind of the point. Or no matter like I'm always going to be able to, like I will always have an idea. Always. Okay? Because I know how to do that. It's a talent. People that are actually falling off, that's the point. They did one thing and tried to say that this is entertaining forever. Again, yeah, it's not. So when that thing changes, you should change with it and talk about those changes and stuff like that, so that way it looks like you're adapting and evolving to that thing. Instead, a lot of you will abandon that thing, walk away from it or something like that, and try to do this like review take thing that I'm doing or other people are doing, where it's like a review take or something like that. And that's just not what people want to see. A lot of gamers and stuff, this is about sticking to that, because that's what they have, and they're not going to play anything else. As much as they don't want to admit it, they're not going to either. So they want to know you're not. So again, the reason he fell off is that pressure for him to play other games. Shouldn't have listened to it. Now, I'm not saying not any other games. I'm just saying like a reviewer, because that's not what he is. Nobody wants to listen to that guy review anything. They don't care. It's not valid. What he says isn't valid. He sucks at reviewing things. Products, games, he sucks at it. One thing he's good at, though, is talking about the things in the game. That he's very good at. And that's what people want. They want to know how to play the game. They don't know how to fucking play a game and have fun. Literally. I swear to God, this is a whole culture of people. I swear to God. They literally just have no idea. They want to play video games, but don't even understand the appeal. I swear to God. I promise. I promise. Don't underestimate that. That's where you're missing out. They do not understand. You have to tell them what they're supposed to do and make it fun. Why is it fun? Show that. People really resonate with that. The few times that he did do that, I swear to God, people really blew up and listened to that. And that was the thing that was more wholesome about what he was doing, where it wasn't like, again, it's that. So if there's one credible, valuable thing I can give him, do that. And the whole point behind me doing your thumbnails was that from the other side of that, you saw how ridiculous that looked, right? That was my point. Everybody saw that. Maybe a different way, okay? But to the person that did that, that's going to see me now do that, you're going to see how stupid it is. You're going to be like, oh, that's how I look? Because the point was I was just doing it as a joke, kind of like a little parody. But I wanted you to see how cheesy it was. Because, like, the point is, you could have done that originally, but eventually you started reusing the same, like, picture and stuff and just, like, putting it on a new game thumbnail. And I started noticing that. Like, it was, like, exactly the same one from, like, because, like, they would show up on the page together. So, like, I would, like, a few days after he had used this one, I had noticed there was a duplicate of him like reacting like, like exactly the same way. And it was like so obvious it was exactly the same one. So it's like, dude, people are calling out how cheesy it is. So like I get it. You're the 90s kid in the commercial exaggerating about the, I get it. I grew up with that shit too. It's so funny. Okay? It is. It's the Black Hole Sun music video. It's I understand. I do. Okay? But when you mess it up a little bit, I'm not trying to be rude, but when you mess it up a little bit, you can't you have to own up to your screw ups, man. I do. You don't have to own up to them publicly. You can do something about it, okay? You don't have to be like me and be like, "Well, I fucked up on this." Durr. That's just sort of self-condemning a little bit, obviously, to your audience. You don't have to do that. I just choose to do that way, okay? I choose to do it that way. You don't have to do that. You can just take the thing off, change it, whatever. Like the time he changed the thumbnail, or not the thumbnail, the headline of the title of the video, and I said what he changed it to, but the point was that was the smart thing. Because now that's just me saying it was that, and maybe he just changed how he wanted to publicly like state how he was gonna describe the video. So that's valid. I just think everything he's doing lately is just a complete utter nonsense bullshit where he's abusing this fair use thing where everybody can react to stuff and whatnot. And what do you care what Asman thinks? Why? Because he's a millionaire? Again, like, stop this. He got lucky. There's a shitload of millionaires. A shitload. Okay? These are not people. You listen to the person, you listen to the actual like financial advisor and investor and stuff like that. Not the person that rigs it. Not the person that gets lucky. Um part of the problem right now is that anybody honest and trying to do it honestly will get cheated by the system because of the way Trump is doing things right now. So unless you capitalize on cheating the system too, you sort of fall down. So that's part of the issue. The issue is that puts pressure on some of these big companies to sort of act that way instead of taking a stance against it. But I got news for you. That billionaire CEO probably has enough money and legal room to sue Trump administration themselves. So I just when you look at it kind of like that, it's like, yeah, if they really wanted to. So I just think that not enough of them that claim to know everything, and stuff like that that are just full of shit. Um, aren't actually proving that they care, because they could do something about it. They are hoarding all of the money, and they're the ones claiming, that the tax breaks for them won't fix the budget. Well, of course they're gonna claim that. Are you kidding me, dude? More taxes is more taxes, especially more taxes on somebody that is worth billions. Again, that's a percentage of a billion. Okay? So 5 to 6 to 7% more on, for example, if you just add up some billionaires and even just say 20 billion, 5 to 6 to 7% more on 20 billion is a shitload more. A shitload more than a whole bunch of people that add up and equate to a few hundred million. Maybe you get almost to a billion. That's a God, these few people, you just tax them a little bit more and they can afford it. And again, that's again, you're talking about, like, again, if you even add up just a few billionaires, you probably get 20 billion a year, just a few. So if you just tax them the amount that middle class is getting taxed, again, they're getting taxed a less of a percentage. So if you just tax them twice what they're getting taxed, they'll be closer to the percentage you and I are actually taxed. And then they're actually paying their fair share of percentage tax rate. So if you, again, put 5 to 7% more on even just a group of billionaires, about 20 billion, it's a fuck of a lot more money than saying, oh, well, 5 to 7% more on barely a billion, not even a billion, is somehow going to do anything. That's chump change. It's chump change. You're multiplying it by more than 20 to get to the same number. It's never going to happen. Tax billionaires what they deserve to be taxed so they stop hoarding all the fucking money. I shouldn't have to explain percentages to fucking Americans. Fucking Christ, you're all dumb. You don't even understand tax rates. During Biden's time in office, that was Trump's tax plan. Trump planned for that to happen, for Biden to look bad, for your taxes to go up when Biden was coming into office. He didn't suddenly magically be able to pass a tax plan under a Republican-controlled fucking Congress. They're not going to do that. They're going to stick with Trump's tax plan that literally causes your taxes to go up over. He literally cut them initially just a little bit way back when he first did it because, this is to lie to you, to convince you. And then just slowly they just went up over time. But did you read the bill? No. You're just like, duh! Donald Trump, duh! He's good for the economy. Duh! And then meanwhile, it actually lowers taxes for billionaires. They're paying like 4 to 5%. You and I pay like 15, 16% right now. That's what we pay. We're not even in 12, 13% range. We're like 15, 16 now. And billionaires pay like 4 to 5% of their income. No. It's a percentage. They should pay, if anything, more than us because they can afford it. God, you don't get it. If they paid even more of a tax percentage than us, they'd still fucking be billionaires. You don't even understand, do you? Like, this is the fucking point. This is what they're endlessly using to give to make shitloads of money for the Republican senators. It's a CPAC, man. It's the shit Bernie's been telling you about since forever. And may I remind you, I'll take this time to remind you that Bernie Sanders is an independent. He's not a Democrat. I want to remind you, Bernie Sanders, that has been since forever aligning with everything that Obama, Clinton's, all these Democrats are saying, and he's an independent saying it. I want to remind you, Bernie Sanders also, when running for president, knew he was not going to win if he was running independent and ran Democratic. You can't vote independent. Don't do it. Do not vote third party. It's like giving it to Trump. Stop doing it because you don't understand percentages. That's why. It's all based on electoral college districts. If fucking 4% of the vote every election goes to a goddamn independent, you're giving it to the other guy. It's that simple. So all Trump has to do is figure out where the dumbass independents are voting in all these different states and districts and go, ha ha ha, I'm going to run propaganda misinformation in those districts and get those votes. It's that goddamn simple, and he's already done it. So every fucking election, when you can look at that and you can go, you know, when Hillary Clinton won 3 million more votes than Donald Trump, and he barely won the Electoral College, if you would have just given all these votes in all these districts in all these states to Hillary instead, she would have won by a landslide. Yeah. It's literally voting for the other person because they're using it. So when you don't know what gerrymandering is and you have no fucking clue that it's everybody, shut the fuck up and stop blaming gerrymandering because you don't know what it is. Shut up. Shut up. Hillary Clinton won the election. She won 3 million more votes than Donald Trump. Donald Trump simply, by a very small margin, won the Electoral College because that's how our fucking voting system works. You know, more votes doesn't equal the winner. Yeah, Hillary Clinton had 3 million more votes. Million. And Trump is claiming election fraud, stop the steal, January 6th. Get with the program already. Okay? I've already told you the Electoral College, again, this is how it works. You have your states. All it takes is you have electoral votes per state. So, if that person just wins that state, and that's why it's a race. If they win more electoral college votes first, that overrides the popular vote. You don't get a say. That's why it's really actually rigged. That's disgusting. Electoral college is a scam for the Republicans. So, I want to remind you, all you got to do is look back at all the other elections and be like, oh yeah, if you put the independent vote in one of the other guys, the other person would have swung the election the other way. Thus, swing states. Duh! And swing states are swing states because they have a shitload of electoral votes. Pennsylvania, California, Texas, things like this, where they have shitloads of electoral votes for no goddamn reason because that state's huge. If the purpose was to give more power to the small states, why the fuck? Oh, right, Alaska. Durr. Stop that. All right? Don't even think about that. Texas, okay? Texas. Texas, California, Pennsylvania. So when it all depends on Pennsylvania, all they got to do is run all that shit in Pennsylvania, and everybody's all pissed off here all the time. It's literally right and left, right down the middle of the fucking state. You can just divide it right, literally. That's why. It's like a damn civil war every fucking election. So start paying attention. It's literally the fact that they're winning that very small margin there with those undecided voters to swing the state for the electoral votes. It's that simple. It's literally that simple. So that's what the 270 is about. 270 to win. That's what that's about. Okay? That's how the system works. So, thus, you can have it where Hillary Clinton still gets 3 million more votes, but Trump comes along and steals it just because electoral college. They're not real votes. You just won that state. So therefore, that state has 23 electoral votes. So there it is. Just has a certain amount of electoral votes. That's it. It's just that. That's it. You just go look at the map. You can look at the map. However many votes are electoral how many electoral votes is this state worth? How many electoral votes is this state worth? Just start looking that up. I think Pennsylvania is 23. That's why I said that. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's an insult to some of those states where it's like fucking 10 and 12 and shit. What an insult. And then fuck these assholes in this state that are sitting here. Half of them are this dumb as shit. I show you how dumb they are every fucking day. And the election depends on these fucking idiots. Okay? That's my fucking point, all right? It depends on these idiots? Hell no. Hell fucking no. Hell no. And look, it's not a city thing. Don't make it a city thing. It's not. It's not a state thing. It's not they're everywhere, okay? It's not. There's dumb motherfuckers in Ohio. There's dumb motherfuckers in Georgia. There's dumb motherfuckers in California, too. They're all over. There's plenty in Florida, too. They're all over. Okay? Recognize that Donald Trump destroyed New York, and that's why everybody hates him there. He has a reputation there. That's why that was so eye-opening. He destroyed New York City. Okay? Destroyed it. Okay, that's what somebody does when they steal and hoard all the money in a city and then flee. Because he's a billionaire that doesn't earn it legitimately. He steals it. He runs, like things like charities and stuff, and doesn't actually do the charity, just steals it. Okay. I mean, this is stuff Donald Trump has done. Okay, I've talked about this before. Okay. I mean, that's real evidence. I mean, is it specifically an art auction I can remember where the artist submitted all this work and stuff like that? Literally, I swear to God, literally, like, it was supposed to go to charity. I swear to God, the proceeds just went to a bank account in Donald Trump Jr.'s name. It's not how it works. If it's going to a bank account and the person's name, like this is the perfect example of not trusting. Like what? Of course, he's taking a cut of that. He's probably taking all of it. Oh, on the honor system, he's going to give this money to the no. What? So just real despicable. And this is the use of art where musicians took a stand when he did what he did, I think, with Jack White's with the White Stripes song and all that, just not even asking, just using it without permission in an ad too. Like, whew, talk about like the most, like literally an advertisement. Oh my god. And yeah, just the worst copyright fraud you could possibly. And so like he uses it in an ad even without asking. It's like, man, you already fucked up when you literally had like painters and stuff give you art, and you auction this art for the proceeds. Again, these celebrities and millionaires probably were auctioning thinking, I'm going to pay a lot for this because it's going to charity. So therefore, yeah, the numbers go up. They're fine with this. Fine. But then it just doesn't. It just goes into a bank account and it's so despicable. It's so disgusting. You stole that money from those people. The intent was that they were donating it, not going into a bank account in Donald Trump Jr.'s name. So, like, again, when this is already what they've come to experience with Trump, okay, that was sort of the last straw. All right, they're just like, yep, nobody's doing it anymore. Not even a single person. Like they're all just backing out. He cannot even get one person to. This is why. Okay, because there's really actually evidence of this guy doing exactly what he always does. Whatever the fuck he wants. Regardless of checks and balances of whether he can. All right, guys. Um, that's enough for now. That's enough for now. Um, I was gonna go over some. We'll go over a couple of things really quick, really quickly. I'm not gonna do a whole thing on this, so okay. Um, I want to do a little bit of gaming news today, but we're not gonna do a big thing on this, okay? Um, really, the main thing is just that. For those that are wondering about GTA 6, it actually did get pushed again till November, which is I don't even understand. Like it just biggest disaster in gaming. Yeah. No. Like obviously, like the hope. Obviously, the hope is that what we're seeing is them actually admitting that the engine sucks. This is the Unreal Engine. The new Unreal Engine sucks. Remember that, guys. It sucks. We know that. And we even so when this was announced, we're like, fully expect pushback after pushback after push, because Rockstar takes care of shit. It's that simple. They're not messing around. They do not want this to be the sort of thing where this is talked about this much and then it's a flop. No, they want this to work. So it's going to work. Because again, obviously it was supposed to come out. and yet another 5-month pushback. Okay? In November, I think. November. So that's my take. I don't have like a huge thing to go into about that. It truthfully, the Unreal Engine that came out um recently, is it 6 that we're up to, or is it 5? I think it's 5 that we're actually up to. Um it's bad. Just bad, 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 bad. I know Unreal Engine 4 was awesome. That I do know. Specifically 4. I loved 4. I know that. That I know for sure, okay? Like, just that it was so solid. It didn't try to do too much, but it still looked good. The point is, like, we're not fixing stuff. We're just pumping it out, okay? And the Unreal Engine was not ready. It was not ready. Um, there are a lot of we can go over this really quick. There are a lot of things coming out on Steam here soon. So like we can go through this really quick. But I just had it go. I said, please, give me a list of new releases on Steam coming out for the next, for the rest of the month. So this is our list here, and again, this is just Steam.
I'll check current Steam release listings for June 21 to 30th, 2026, then condense them into a practical list with dates and Steam links where available. Here are the Steam releases I found for the rest of June 2026, using SteamDB's Steam Release Calendar/listings. SteamDB notes its calendar uses UTC and that some filtered results may be missing, so treat this as a strong current listing rather than a guaranteed exhaustive Steam catalog.
Right.
Date new Steam releases listed: June 21st, Wizard Quest 2, Fantasy World Simulator Play Stories. June 22nd, Sand, Raiders of Sophie, Desolation Seed, Flawed Tactics, Cozy Cleaner, Dark Scrolls 808, Ashes of Morgravia, Nun World, Space Grunts, Chrono Shard, Soccer Boy vs. Aliens, Ramen Simulator, Besiege the Broken Beyond
Soccer
DLC,
Boy versus
Reborn Evil
Aliens.
Being, Porsum Resort. June 23rd, Scientific Project Optic, Wildernook, Galactic Speed Legends, Deer and Boy, Dart Racer, Doodle Dice Monsters, Dim Haven, The Lost Source, The Grid, Jin, The Silver Wind, Potter About, Dark Age Gladiator, Kudos Cuppa, Disc Golf Masters, Sixth Force, Karjala, Lumina Veil, Reshuta, Lone Voyage, Runevale, Mold Washer, Endless Invader. June 24th, Age of Empires Mobile, PC Edition, Summer at Smile Cafe, Battle Food Mania,
Oh, it's
Fortune
a
Fragments,
platformer.
Succubus Successor, Delilah's Juicy Journey, Half Dead, a zombie
Looks
story
pretty
game.
good, actually.
June 25th, Omen Exisha, Hunger, Project XZ,
Comes out tomorrow.
Vampire Syndicate, Gangs of Moonfall,
You can download the
Kyo,
demo.
Bunny Tyranny,
Comes
All
out
One
tomorrow.
Click, Neither Kai Lolpo, Invisible Ascent, Love Confessions on the Adventure.
So
June 26th, Threshold of Awakening, The Wedding, Interrogator 2, Clover's Quadrants, Wartheon, Otapim's Costume 3 DLC,
I'll
Rock
shut up
Beats
for a
Rock, Bittersweet Blossoms, Sprunky Horror Towers, Raining Cats and Dogs,
Spunky
Train
Horror
45,
Towers?
Pixel Empires. June 27 to 28th. I didn't find dated releases surfaced for these days in SteamDB's calendar view. June 29th, Rogue Kingdom is listed with an exact June 29th date. SteamDB also shows many titles with broader Q2 2026 or June 2026 windows on this page, including Sparkball, Mike Goes on Hike, Eternal Exodus, Black Gold, Oil Drilling Simulator, Vapor World, Over the Mind, Below, Rusted Gods, and others. But those
Rusted
do not all have
Gods.
exact June 29th dates. June 30th, Blossoming Yandere Mankai Yandere, Occulto, Grey Planet, Coven All Powerful, Moonlit
Great
Journey,
Planet?
The Age of Death, Codas Nereus, World in the Abyss, Get That Box Girl, Bobby and the Witch, The Hell Kanto Earthquake 1923, The Hell Aztec Pestilence 1540 DLC, The Hell Nordic Winter 536 DLC, Wonder Catgirl XXX,
What
Brothel
the?
Virgin The Crimson Reverie, Powers Downtown, Dice Rogues Alley Up, Recovered Occurrence, Swarmex, Blazo, Limited
Wonder
Space,
Cat Girl
Stepmom Who Fell on a
XXX.
Hike, The Phone from Another World, My First Love Track, Dead Color, Evolver, Smile Town, Talisman Codes, Ibiza Madness, Zombie vs. Demons, Defense of Kiroth, Double Life, Escort Secrets, Reverse 2048.
It just stops. It just stops. So, Soccer Boy versus Aliens actually looks pretty cool. It looks like it's a 2D platformer. Actually looks pretty fucking cool, I'm not gonna lie. 2D platformer comes out tomorrow. There's a demo. You could totally just play the demo. Actually looks cool. You're literally a platformer dude that kicks a soccer ball at the enemies and collects coins and jumps there's like alien ships and stuff and bosses, and looks really good. Really good. It's like a retro style. It's like a pixel style sort of thing. But it's like a side-scrolling 2D platformer. Again, comes out tomorrow. That's the one that stood out to me. I just figured I would pick one that stood out that seemed pretty cool. Some of those just pretty interesting names, but no, this one actually looks pretty cool. So yeah. So there's your gaming news. Lots of stuff coming out. Again, really pushed back to November for GTA 6. So who knows? But yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. See you later. Bye.